Hello and welcome back to Curry Soup. Today we're going to be talking about something very interesting, schizophrenia. We've heard a lot of stories about schizophrenia, there are tons of movies about schizophrenia, but schizophrenia is one of the least understood medical illness and the one which has the most stigma attached to it. So today we're going to learn everything about schizophrenia, what it is, what are the symptoms of schizophrenia, and what happens to a schizophrenic patient. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. Schizophrenia is a disorder which affects how we think, how we feel, and how we perceive our surrounding. And schizophrenia is a syndrome. That means there are a lot of symptoms in schizophrenia, and different patients have different symptoms for schizophrenia. The hallmark symptom or the distinguishing feature of schizophrenia is psychosis, and psychosis involves hallucination, either visual or mostly auditory, and also delusions. There are four main groups of symptoms in schizophrenia. These are the positive symptoms, negative symptoms, cognitive symptoms, and also mood symptoms. So what are these symptoms? Let's start with positive symptoms. Positive symptoms are usually psychotic symptoms. For example, hallucination. Schizophrenic patients usually have auditory hallucination, though some may also have visual hallucination. And auditory hallucination, it's not like the voice inside our head when we think or when we are reading a book, there's a voice inside our head. It's not that. It's literally like how you are listening to my voice right now. It sounds like somebody is standing beside you and talking to you. The second positive symptom is delusion. And delusion is basically a belief so strong that couldn't be shaken even if evidence is shown right in front of you. For example, we have delusions of control. Example of that is they might feel like they are being controlled by an alien, that an alien force is directly moving their body. And we have delusions of reference. That means if we are listening to the radio and the radio host is saying something, we feel like that message is meant directly for us, that that person is talking to us. And regardless of who comes and say no, it's just a common message, they won't believe it. They will think that that message was meant directly for them, and they might even act upon it. Other positive symptoms may include disorganized speech and disorganized behavior. Disorganized speech is something we call word salad. That means they just jumble up a few words which make no sense. It's, for example, man, woman, TV, camera, person. And disorganized behavior can be something like it may be very, very hot outside. The sun might be at 40 degrees outside, but this person will be wearing 2 layers of jacket and walking outside, or wearing sunglasses in the middle of the night. These are examples of disorganized behavior. Next is the negative symptoms. Negative symptoms usually involves a very reduced range of emotion. There's something called flat effect that we use, which basically means they can hardly feel anything about what's going on around them. For example, I may be sitting in front of the TV watching the TV, and the TV can all of a sudden just catch fire, but I'll be looking at it like nothing's actually going on, like everything is fine. Very, very apathic, very reluctant to feel anything. Next in negative symptoms is poverty of speech. It means everything you ask them, they can just answer with a single word. They wouldn't like to continue the conversation. For example, if someone asks, do you have kids? The only answer you'll get is yes. Unlike most of us who would say, oh yeah, I have 2 kids, 1 boy and a girl, or something along that line. The following negative symptom is reduced interest or drive in anything, meaning they won't have any interest or drive to achieve anything in their life. They can just stay at home for months on end without actually going out looking for a job or even reaching out to their friends. Next is the cognitive symptoms. Cognitive symptoms are usually very subtle. These include things like reduced memory power, reduced attention span, meaning simple things like my own birthday I can forget. I can't focus on one thing for more than 10 seconds. And cognitive symptoms also include inability to understand nuances and interpersonal relationship cues. And finally, we have mood symptoms. Mood symptoms are also rather subtle. That means schizophrenic patients often feel either happy or sad in a way which is quite difficult to understand. That means if there's a car crash and people died, they might find it funny, they might laugh. If something good actually happens, like their best friend just got married, they might actually feel angry or sad. And most of the time, schizophrenic patients are depressed. The cause of schizophrenia has not been fully understood, although we do understand that there is a very strong genetic and environmental component to it. Despite only 1% of the population having schizophrenia, if your family member has schizophrenia, you are 10 times more likely to actually have schizophrenia. A lot of theories have been put forth to how schizophrenia or why schizophrenia actually happens. One of the theory was an increase of dopamine activity in the brain. But when given medication to block these dopamine activities, it works for some patients but doesn't work for others. And the best medication for schizophrenia is actually called clozapine, but this is a very, very weak dopamine antagonist or dopamine blocker. Somehow this works much better than a stronger dopamine blocker. So this has brought forth other theories like maybe other neurotransmitters in the brain, other chemicals in the brain actually plays a role in schizophrenia as well. Like most other mental illness, schizophrenia also goes through phases, and schizophrenia has 3 phases which actually happens in order. These are the prodromal stage, active stage, and residual stage. During the prodromal stage, they are usually very withdrawn, very by themselves. They prefer isolating themselves, not talking to people. And this prodromal phase will actually move on to an active phase. And during this active phase is when schizophrenic patients have hallucinations, delusions, they feel very catatonic. And after the active phase, they move on to the residual phase. And this is where you can see all the cognitive symptoms we just talked about. This is where you can see symptoms like poor memory retention, poor attention span, and they'll become more withdrawn after this, returning back to the prodromal phase. And that's everything about what schizophrenia is, what are the symptoms of schizophrenia, and what happens to a schizophrenic patient. If you found this video to be valuable, if you learned anything at all from this video, the only thing I ask is to share this video with a friend or family member. Spread the knowledge. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button right there, and please do click the bell icon because YouTube's algorithm is changing all the time and we want to make sure that our videos come and reach you. And until the next video, in anything you do, do your best and be the best version of yourself. Bye bye.